That's us. Evening, everybody, and thanks very much for coming in. We hope you're all keeping well. So, welcome along to I was going to say interview. It's not an interview, it's a chat with Karen L Fray. Karen is a medium and holistic therapist. She's the founder and owner of Festival of Unexplained. She's advertising executive with Haunted Magazine and co-founder of, and I hope I'm going to say this right, Karen, KEAP Paranormal.
Yay!
Did I say that? I've been looking at it and I'm thought, is it KEAP or is it KEAP? I'm just going to go with KEAP, you know.
If you're American, it's KEAP because that's how they pronounce it.
I know the American. I know we love Americans. You know, we've got an American team, but some of the words that they pronounce, you think, what? You know, kind of. And well, Americans great, you know. So thanks very much for coming in, though. I just want to say we're going to the Parapost Network as well. If you've not checked it out, give it a wee look. Definitely worth a look. But we were meant to have Karen on in April, but with Wi-Fi issues, so you know, we're so glad and thankful that she's decided to come back tonight. So, as I say, Karen, it's great to finally meet you.
I know, it's took long enough, hasn't it?
I know, it's been a couple of months, isn't it? You know, it's like waiting on a train, basically.
I've never been called that before. That's a new one.
No, I wasn't meaning you're a train. It's, you know, it's like
I knew what you meant.
You wouldn't want to turn up, you know. You say, "Oh, hurry up, you know." I wasn't personally calling you a train, you know. God, that would be good, wouldn't it? That'd be a good start if I was calling you a choo-choo. Anyway, we're meant to be serious in this channel. No joking.
I am. This is my serious face now. Okay.
That's how I keep the lights dimmed a wee bit because nobody can see. You know, I don't know. I can't. I tried to do a serious face. Who I was with Laura, one of our team. She stays up the hill, and she said do a serious face, and I just could not do it. It just wasn't happening for me. You know, you know how you're trying to keep your just here, the side of your mouth straight, and you can feel it creeping up, and I say, "Oh, sod it, it's not happening." You know, you just smile.
Yeah, you got no hope with that with me.
That's fine. That's the way we love it. See, we're just laid back and we enjoy what we do. Basically, we're not. We used to be, as I say, we used to be formal way back, back in the day, as you know, the older ones say. But it just didn't work out for us. So we were just going to go casual, and it seems to have worked out. So let's get round to you. Okay. You're a busy lady. I don't know where I don't know where to start with you, actually. I need to get. You know, I'm going to show my ignorance or my dumbness. One of the two. A holistic therapist. What? See, I'm from Glasgow. We don't do fancy words. So
fancy words.
You know.
So.
We do therapists in Glasgow. Plenty of them. It's holistic, but I was just sure.
So holistic therapist, I'm trained to do like hop ear candling, Reiki healing. I've done other types of healing that I'm trained in as well that I try to use, but I haven't done it for a while. So I am getting back out there and starting doing treatments and things again. So yeah, so it's just therapies basically, but holistic rather than in natural ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm. And you're a medium as well. Always you've been asked many times, you know, how did you get into the paranormal? What was your first experience like? You know, the usual toys and whistles. But when did you first discover that you had a gift, or you were a medium?
5.
That's quite early, isn't it? That's quite.
Yeah. So when I was 5, it's like kids have imaginary friends. Mine wasn't imaginary. She dressed different to me. She talked different to me, but I was a kid. It doesn't matter. So I used to play with this little girl on the land for some unknown reason. I don't know to this day, but for some reason, I always played on the landing at home. Mm-hmm. I didn't play anywhere else in the house. Didn't really want to play in the garden. I used to always play on the landing because that's where my friend always was. So that's where we always like played with my dolls or whatever. And then growing up, I realised, obviously, she kind of disappeared. The older I got, the more into school and stuff I got into, and actually having real friends and all of that. And as I just got older, I still knew that I could do things that other people couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I would hear things, sense things, feel things, see things that other people weren't. And it didn't scare me. I just didn't understand it. But I didn't feel it was something that I wanted to tell. I've got older sisters and older brother, and I didn't feel like it was something I wanted to tell them or my parents or anything. I just thought I was weird. So didn't really talk about it, to be honest. But then the older I got, when I got into like teens and everything, I just kind of ignored it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when you go through your teenage years and you're out with your friends on weekends and all that sort of thing. And I didn't do anything with it for quite a few years. And then I had a traumatic experience when I was 21. And it all just suddenly just came flooding back, literally. And it's just got stronger and stronger the more I've used it and the older that I've got and the more that I've learnt.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got many senses now that I didn't have like 19 years ago. Back there, now I can do so much more than I ever did then. Like I could do transfiguration and trance mediumship, that type of thing, which I could never do before. And because I use all my senses, so smell, sense of feeling, obviously clairaudient, clairvoyant, you know, a little bit of everything basically, depending on what situation I'm in. I've had it in the past where I found out I could do the trance mediumship by accident.
Right.
I wasn't actually purposely doing it. I was doing a one-to-one reading because I do like group readings, one-to-one readings, platform mediumship, and then obviously like go on investigations, like guest medium sometimes on Invest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a one-to-one reading for this lady. And she just burst into tears. And I was like, oh no, what have I said? I started panicking. And I was like, oh no, what have I said? I've really upset her. And I said, you okay? Do you want to stop? It's fine if you want to stop. We can end the session here. It's absolutely fine. She's like, no, keep going, keep going. So I continued for another half an hour because we were only about 20 minutes into it.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, she went, thank you so, so much. I went, oh, you're very welcome. I hope that everything made sense. And if it didn't make sense, you could at least take it away with you and it may make sense in the future. I said, do you mind me asking why, what was it I said or what was it I did that triggered you to literally just uncontrollably start crying? She went, you changed. I said, what do you mean? She said, you changed. Everything about you changed. Your facial features, your voice, everything just suddenly changed. And she said, I sounded and looked exactly like the loved one that I was bringing through. And that's why she had a meltdown, because she was just so pleased and couldn't believe what she was seeing and hearing and experiencing. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, are you sure? She said, yeah. She said, your features, everything changed about you. She said, your mannerisms, you had their mannerisms. Said the way you were talking with your hands, the way you were moving yourself, the way you were holding, everything. She said, everything you were doing, you were them, just sat in front of me. Because you weren't you anymore. And I've never heard of this thing. I don't even know what you were doing or how you did it. But I just want to thank you. And I was like, oh, okay. As long as I didn't upset you or hurt you or anything else in any way. I said, I do this because I can. And she went, no, it's absolutely fine. And that's when I discovered, hold on a minute, what is this? And what the hell have I just done? So I researched it a bit.
So you were quite shocked. Obviously, I think everybody would be shocked when you learned, exactly what it was. So how did it make you feel? Did it make you approach your mediumship different after that happened?
Yeah. For a little while, I had some help from other people that work the same as me, and I asked them about it and said, "What's your understanding of this?" Hi, Patty. And what's your understanding of this? I said, because I really, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it, how to start it. Am I in control? Are they in control? What am I doing? And it really
Mm-hmm.
did frighten me and worry me because I thought, what if this happens again? I might have someone different that's not open to that type of sitting. How do I control this? What am I doing? So I got a lot of help and a lot of assistance of how to open, how to close, and how to make them back off basically and not allow them to get that close to be able to completely step in
Mm-hmm.
unless I want them to. So it took a lot to learn how to control it and take control of the situation basically because at that time I was completely out of control.
I think you know, I mean, obviously I'm not a medium. I mean, I do pick up and stuff, but it's very, very random. It can be weeks and weeks apart and stuff. But I think in that case, you need to kind of let them know that you're in charge.
Yeah, boundaries. Set your
You know,
boundaries.
you're the boss lady
Yeah.
kind of thing. And if you don't want them to do it, then it's not happening. You know, end of story. I know Spirit is always anxious to come through in
Mhm.
whatever way they can. But I think it's important to set kind of boundaries. But you see that obviously when you were a child, things were happening, and then you sort of shut it out. I think is that not kind of normal behaviour? As you get older, your mind starts to be exposed more to the world, basically.
Yeah.
And then as you're a teenager, inside, I've got this gift or this thing, but I don't want to tell people because they might send me Coventry, as they say,
Yeah.
and maybe they've seen too many Hollywood films where the strange girl at school
Mhm.
gets left in the corner.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's the trouble with paranormal as well. I think there's a lot more people out there have experiences, but they never talk about them.
See, the thing is, when I was at high school, when I was a teenager, when I was at high school, I was bullied a lot in school, just in general. So there was not a chance, to put it politely, there was not a chance in hell that I was telling anyone anything
Hmm. I can
because,
understand that because it was just
that was ammunition. That was something else for those people to give them ammunition to come at me with. So, that's why I kind of closed it off and didn't want to have anything to do with it, basically. Which is
yeah.
now I look back and I think, do you know what? It's such a real shame that I let a handful of idiots stop me from doing something that was actually natural and normal for me.
I stopped you from doing what you wanted to do. Basically,
Hmm.
it's a very unfortunate bullying in school. It's bullying anywhere is totally disgusting. But I know it can have a big impact on kids' lives in
Hmm.
so many different ways. You know, and they keep it pent up to themselves. Their families don't know, and what have you. But then as you get older, you you started to could develop more skills. Do you think
Yeah.
maybe because you were opening up more to it
Hmm.
than
It was because when I was 15, I lost my granddad. By the time when I was 16, I lost my nan, and then it kind of triggered in me again, I should say. Um, it happened when as in around that sort of age, it triggered in me again because I woke up and I knew the phone was going to ring. And I knew the phone was going to ring because I knew it was going to be the hospital and I knew they were going to tell us that my granddad had passed.
mm-hmm.
Because I was already awake and I was waiting for the phone to ring because I was waiting for the hospital to call to let us know. And my dad came into my room and he said, "What are you doing awake?" Because I put my light on. My mum worked nights at the time and it was her dad. And I said, "Where are you going?" He said, I'm going to get your mum from work." I said, "Granddad's passed, hasn't he?" He went, "What?" I said, Granddad's passed, hasn't he?" I said, "No, he has." I said, "Because that's why I'm awake." And he went, "Yeah." I need to go get your mum from work and tell her. So I already knew before the phone had rang. And with my nan, I was only 16. Not a lot, but some family members said I was too young to be there when it happened because we knew it was going to happen. But I refused to leave, and I was like, no, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be with her when she goes. No one's removing me from this room. I am staying in this hospital. Whatever happens, no one's taking me out of here. I'm stopping, and that was it. I was very adamant. And that was probably my first ever experience of being with someone when they've passed and they've crossed over. And it's a feeling and an experience I will never, ever forget, because unless you've experienced, it's difficult to explain. Like everyone says about, the energy changes in the room, and you can talk about things like that. The energy did change in the room. 1 minute it was like this, and then suddenly the energy completely changed. It went cold. And before they'd said that was she'd gone, I said to my aunt, because there was a few of us there, I said to my aunt, I said, she's gone. And she went, no, she has. I said, yes, she has. I said, she's gone. And then I think it's my mum said, oh, she's gone. And the room just suddenly, the temperature just dropped in the room. And the atmosphere and the energy just changed. And then once she'd gone and she wasn't in that pain anymore, it was suddenly like the energy lifted in the room. It sounds weird to say because obviously it was a bit of a sad time, but it's like the energy lifted in the room and it suddenly just went warm. And we'd been cold all night in this room. We'd all been freezing all night in the room. And my family have always said you should always have a window open and things like this. Just kind of, I don't know, but it's tradition in my family, which I don't know, but they've always said about this thing having a window open though, and the window was open. So we were sat there cold all night. And then as soon as she passed, energy changed and the room was actually warm for the first time. And we've been sat there for about 7-8 hours, freezing.
It's weird you say that, Kat. I realise weird about the phone. And I mean, I've been there twice when, people passed. I've witnessed them passing, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's happened to me twice. The thing with the phone, it was my dad. My dad died of cancer, but we get called up to the hospital at 7 o'clock, and it was a Sunday morning, and they say, you better come up, he's not going to last. So we are up at the hospital. Long story short, the doctor kept coming in saying, we don't think he's going to see 12 o'clock. We don't think he's going to see 2. I ended up telling the doctor to beep off, because he was in and out. So it was just after 11 at night, and the doctor came in and says, look, he's want to go home. He's going to be fine. He'll be, we don't think anything's going to happen tonight. So I went home, and I stayed literally 10 minutes drive for the hospital. When I got into the house, I was going up the stairs, and I heard the phone ringing. And I knew this was before mobiles came out. That's how long it was. And I knew right away, that's and I said to my ex-wife, she said, that's my dad gone. And she said, what do you mean? I said, no, that's, and I lifted up the phone. I said, there you go.
Yeah.
That's my dad gone. But the other weird thing is, when I was round about 19, 20, my first marriage, before mobile phones, if our landline went, I could tell you who was phoning. Now, we didn't have caller ID or anything fancy like that,
Yeah, but before they even picked up the phone, you knew exactly who's on the other end of the phone. Yeah.
I would say to my ex-wife, that's your mum. That's your mum on the phone. Well, that's your sister. And it used to freak her out. She said, how do you know? I said, I don't know how I know. And so I ended up, I just knew. I go to the stage where I used to say, okay, it's your mother's ring. The ring was exactly the same for everybody. I said, that's your mum's ring. And so that happened to me, and then I just accept. I didn't actually give it any, thought. I just, as you said with you, what happened to you, you just kind of put it to the side and go on with life.
Yeah, you just do, don't you? You just get on with normal life, and that's it. And then something happens again, and it kind of triggers you again, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. I've had these experiences, and these things have happened to me until something happens again, and then it just re-triggers it all, doesn't it?
It brings it. It's been I've been into paranormal for about 30 something years, but we only started doing this maybe 2 years ago, June, July. In fact, it's a second. We're near enough at the 2 year mark. But when we started doing this, I started picking up on things more, and it'd be totally random. Could be anywhere. Could be, I would feel somebody maybe to the left of me, or I could look at photographs and I would see things in the photographs. No physically see. I'd see them up here.
Yeah, you see them in your mind's eye. Yeah.
Aye, I'd see them up here. I'll give you one quick example. Is a lassie down in Wales called Ghost Ramblers, and she posted pictures. One of the pictures she posted was outside an abandoned building. There was 2 floors, and I put a comment in saying, "Do you see the woman standing on the second floor? She's very serious looking. She's got a long nose, looking down her nose at you, like Downtown Abbey style kind of thing."
Yeah.
That she mailed me back. I didn't. I've forgotten her name. Natalie, her name is. Natalie, if you're going to watch this, sorry, I forgot your name. Natalie, her name is. She mailed me back. She goes, "Oh my God, that's so freaky," because her friend, who's a medium, was with her. So she said the exact same thing when we were there. There's a woman, and she described the woman. And so folk was saying, "How did you?" I said, I don't know. I just, you look at the photograph, as you've probably done as well, Karen, and you just see it up
Yeah, I've done that in the past. In like when a few years ago, I learned how to do different things, and we learned like psychometry and things like that. So you'd have a photograph put in an envelope, or something be put in an envelope, and you would have to say what you picked up from it and stuff like that. This is like many years ago when I was doing a little bit more development and everything. And but it's the same. Like if anyone goes on an invest and I don't go and they're doing a live, it's like one of my good friends, Gary, he does a lot of lives when he's on invest. And there's many a time, like during COVID and stuff, and like I explained to you before we came on, won't go back into that, but before we came on, I explained to you about my situation why I couldn't go out. Well, so I used to watch everybody else's lives and stuff because obviously I couldn't do it. But I tune in to where he was and what he was doing, and I'd comment. I'd type in and I'd comment what I was picking up on and so on and so on. And that's how I landed up getting into doing like online readings and things like that. So I thought, well, and I've done distance things before. Like I've somebody asked me, I had not very often, but I've tuned into places for when people have gone to do cleanses and things like that. And I've tuned in prior to them go. I don't know the location. I don't know who the people are. I don't know what the size of the house is. I don't even know where the house is. I just know they're going. And I've done it in the past where I've tuned in prior to them going, given them information, and then they've come back to me after to let me know what I've said has been picked up on whilst they've been there. So I find that really interesting that I can do that. I don't do it very often. Probably should do it more than I do. But yeah, that's something else that I've done previously as well.
The thing that amazes me about it all is, as I say, it happens to be some people. I was on a show a long time ago, and they introduced me as a medium, and I was like, "No, wait a minute, I'm not a medium. I'm not a medium. I'm not a sensitive. I'm nothing. I'm just me." So please don't introduce me as a medium because I'm not. And it's just it's hard to explain. Cheers, dog. Good luck with your show. I'll tune in later on and give it a watch. That's actually started a criminology channel. Really, really good.
Cool.
Vaughan say, "Hope life is true." Yeah, life's doing pretty well. My hearing's coming back, Vaughan. My hearing's coming back, so we're getting there. I had COVID. We got COVID during the Easter holidays, and it kind of took my hearing away. But it's coming. That's why I use the headphones, and it's coming back. But it's hard to explain to people, Cam, and no doubt you're the same, how it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you see so many Hollywood films, like, I see dead people and stuff like that. And I think everybody's get that kind of impression that mediums, they see all these dead people.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's the difference. Everyone works differently. Some people can hear, some people can sense, some people can see. Not everybody can do everything. And some people are more sensitive than they've got any idea. I met a lady, as an example, I met a lady, when I did a team share. I can't even think what the place is called now. It's literally, I can see it, but do you know the fleece?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the fleece we did. And there was a lady there, and I'd never met her before. And she said to me, I find this really intriguing. I find this really interesting. And that's why I come along. And I said to her, and she said, oh, but I really want to find out more. I'm interested in all this sort of stuff. And I turned around and said to her, you do know that you've got, I said, however you want to call it, gifts, whatever you want to call them. I said, but, or sensitive, whatever. I said, however you want to take it. I said, but you very much are so. I started telling her about experiences that she's had and different feelings and hearing things and whatever. And I was telling her, she said, but how do you know? And I was like, well, because that's just what I do. And I said, and I started telling her about the things she'd done. I went, but that's not a bad thing. It just means the more you're going out and the more that you're doing, I said, the more you're opening yourself up to it. And that's why you're experiencing more.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because you're opening yourself to those experiences. You're not closing yourself off.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, actually, she's been to a couple of my investigations, and she's actually drove down. She's not from around here, but she drove down to Worcestershire, where I am, to come to my mediumship night, which I thought a lot of that, but she travelled down here just to come to it. And she said, well, I was really interested in everything you told me the last time we met. She said, so I've never been to anything like this before. When you said I saw advertised on Facebook you were doing it. So I had to buy a ticket to come and experience it and see how this is different than going on an investigation and what you actually do. She said, really interesting. Her friend had a reading and was in floods of tears. She'd never been to anything like it before, with the information that she got. And she got clarification on a lot of things from a relative that she really wanted. And yeah, she's coming to a lot more things now because she enjoyed the experience she had and she wants to learn more.
I know exactly.
We're always learning.
That's it. I mean, these people that say, I'm an expert in the paranormal, I think, no chance, there's no such thing. But I know exactly what that lady is talking about, because it happened to many, many years ago. I used to go to Spiritualist Church in Glasgow, because one of my friends was going, and I used to just go along on Sunday. But this one Thursday night, there was a church on, and I can't remember how I heard about it, but I thought I'm going to go to it. So I went myself. I didn't tell anybody I was going. I was in a different town. I just it started at 7 o'clock. I get in the car the back of 6 and just went.
It's always 7 o'clock. It doesn't matter where you are on the country. I know that it's 7 o'clock.
I don't know why 7. The witching hour. I don't know, but every spiritualist church in Glasgow starts at 7.
Yeah, it does down here too, in the Midlands. 7 o'clock.
I don't know, something to do with the soaps or something. Maybe, I don't know. But I went along to this church and went in, and I sit myself, and the medium came on. It was a lady, maybe in her late 50s, and she came, that way. I don't know if you've been in a position, but you're sitting there and you're wanting the medium to come to you, but you don't want her to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was sitting more or less in the middle of the room, and she said, I want to come with the guy with the black jacket. And so you're like that, you kind of.
Yeah, you do that. Who's she talking to? Yeah, we've all done that. They look down, you're like, oh, they're talking to me.
It took her 3 or 4 times for her. It's the guy with the glasses on, the black jacket, the gentleman, she says, the guy that's looking around him, that's me. So she says, the first thing she said to me, and nothing freaks me. I don't usually speak to her, but she says, you've got a daughter in the spirit world called Donna, and she's been sitting on your knee since she came in. And that was the first, and right, I would see as soon as she says that, that was me. And I lost a little girl, she was just under 6 months, called Donna. I don't know if you see, I've got a D on my hand.
Yeah.
There. I was caught there. and she
Oh.
says she's been sitting on your knee since she came in. Then nobody knew me, nobody, nothing.
Mhm.
And she came and she told me about my gran, told me a lot of things about my dad that nobody knew. She told me you're studying something and you have to keep at it. You keep finding books on this subject. You have to keep at it. And it was true because I started to study spiritualism. I went to the library and the girl says, we've only one book on it. So I took it home, read it, took it back, and I had another wee browse and I found another book. I kept finding books in the library. That's happened maybe 5 or 6. And the woman says, you keep finding these books, so keep at it. And so that woman says, that the information you gave her really hit home, and that's what made her want to come and see you more. That's exactly what happened to me with that other lady. I gave the can. I could work at social church with different people, young people. I could work at special church, but with different people and being among people within the field has really helped me. But hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
So I know exactly where it's coming from, but that's what makes it so fascinating. As you say, Karen, we're learning every day.
We are. I don't think it doesn't matter how long you do the paranormal, how long you do mediumship, everything else. Different, because I do tarot readers. I do all sorts of. I can do all sorts of stuff. It's whether I choose to or not is a different matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I genuinely, honestly believe that you are forever learning. No one knows everything about everything. I don't care whether you're the top in your field, what you do is your job, and you're an expert in that field, in that circumstance or not. There's always something new you can learn.
Mm-hmm. You can. We always say there's no such thing as an expert. You can have more experience than someone else.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be experienced. You can have you can have knowledge, of course, but that doesn't mean you can't add more knowledge to that knowledge. And you can't, like I said, I used to get told quite often every day is a school day. And I was like, what? Why would you say that to me? But now, like the last 5-6 years, I understand that now. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Dancing, every event, every guest takes away something. I genuinely feel like people learn every day. Totally agree with you both. Thanks for that, Dan. Hey, Emma Doll. But I've watched a lot of lives and people say, I'm an expert in the paranormal. I'm qualified to teach the paranormal. And you think, well, where's the paranormal school? I've never heard of paranormal college. But they say, I'm qualified and I can teach you this and teach you that. I'm friends with Mark Edgerton. Mark, he's been in the paranormal for over 40 years, and he was trained by Peter Underwood.
Oh, wow.
Kind of granddaddy of the UK, but Peter Underwood trained him. And he says, I still don't know everything. After 40 years, I'm still learning.
It's being humble in your knowledge, isn't it, as well? I think that makes a difference too, in just admitting that you don't know everything. You know a lot. You're very knowledgeable, but there's still something to learn for everyone. Every time we go out and do an investigation, you learn something new. It's not just about learn a new piece of kit or anything else. You have different experiences with different people. You learn from other people. You can go out with that team. I don't know, say I went out for a team last week and they work in a certain way. You go out with a different team this week, they might work in a different way. So you always learn something and take something away with you each and every time you go out and do this.
Yeah, I spot on. Cam, Vaughn as well. We do learn everything. I know exactly what you mean, Cam. We've been out with different teams, and it's not that you're copying them. They might.
You learn from each other.
You learn. I know there's a lot of people. The word copying gets branded about everywhere these days in the paranormal, and I've done it myself. There are people out there copying folks' ideas, but if you go to another team and they may do the human pendulum, for example, just off the top of my head, different from what you've done it. You say, well, let's give that a try. See if it works. It might not work. It works for them, might not work for us. So it's all about sharing, you know, each other's ideas and trying different, you know, different ways of doing things. What you might know, what I might not think, you might think.
Yeah.
You know, you
That's
say,
what I
well,
mean. You learn from each other and you share that knowledge and those experiences with each other, and that's how it should be. Like if I go, like I run events, and
wasn't for me.
oh bless her.
She wasn't one to talk.
But I run events, and I'm obviously down that I'm a medium on our website and everything else. But 9 times out of 10, I won't even work on an event, on a public event. If I do a team share, I will. If I'm doing a public investigation, it's not often I will actually work mediumship wise, because I feel that those people, those public, those guests are paying to come for an experience, not be talked at and told what's happening and what's going on and what's in and around them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a personal thing for me. Okay. I don't get me wrong. I'm going as guest medium for West London Paranormal in October. Yeah, for Halloween. So I'm going as guest medium for them on their event. So I will be going on their event to work their event because I've been asked to. But my own events, I don't use what I have. I might write stuff down or whatever. I'll do it when we all go out together as a group, as a team together and things like that. On the odd occasion, I might give someone a personal message or something, but that's only if I'm being hassled to a point where, like, you know what, all right, I give in, I'm going to pass this on. But
Eyes like that. Nip,
try,
nip, nip, nip.
yeah, but I try not to. I tune in and I hear things, I experience things, I keep them to myself because, like I said, I don't feel those paying guests are coming to listen to stand and watch me talk and listen to what I've got to say. If they want that, they'd come to a platform night that I'm doing, not an investigation to have an experience and learn.
It's
And
two totally
yeah,
different
the
things.
two exactly, and that's how I kind of tend to work things. And there's different people in the team as well that do different things. We've got Gary that works with us a lot, and he's a transfiguration medium and everything, and he will work mediumship wise on the events, whereas I choose not to. But then you've got like Rachel, she likes to do a lot of stuff without tech. She likes her tech, she's got a lot of tech, but she also likes to do other things and not use it to see what she gets instead. And we all got our own different ways of working, haven't we, at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, you do your own, you know, your own nights where people can come and, you know, get readings, get messages, and you like it's like kind of night off for you going to an event.
It
If you know
can
what I
be,
mean.
yeah.
You know,
It's quite nice just to go and have a bit of enjoyment in just go and have an experience along with everyone else rather than standing up. If I want to stand up and do that, I'll book a location and I'll go and put a night on. You know, as an investigation, I like to go to the place, experience the place, experience the spirits, experience the public, experience any of the teams that might be joining us and the way they work and what they're doing. And because, like we said, everyone likes to do things differently. So for me, it's a night out. That's the way I look at it. For me, going out on an investigation is a night out.
Can I tell you? Lost Souls Paranormal. You're doing that with. Later on this year, did you say Lost Souls?
Yeah, Lost Soul Paranormal. That's Rachel, Gemma, and Nikki. They also we work with my team, KEAP Paranormal. So they're team members with me, but they've got their own team.
We've got them on. I was talking to Nikki today. Actually, I've got a video call with her on Sunday because it's her birthday on Saturday. So I've got a video call with her on Sunday night. I think it's 6th of June or something. I've got her, or July or something. We've got them coming on. But no, as you say, everybody does things a different way. I also find that some teams criticise other teams. You say, "Oh no, they're not doing that the right way. They're not doing that the correct way." To me, there's no right or wrong way to do stuff in the paranormal. No, investigation wise, apart from being respectful.
Yeah, that's a bit different. That's
One to learn from others.
oh, that's cool. But yeah, like I said, that's the respectful thing side of things. I do tend to say, as long as you're respectful and everything else, sometimes, don't get me wrong, we've been on events where it's been just team and we've had experiences and we've had abuse and all sorts of things go on. And don't get me wrong, a few choice words have been said on occasions, but that's like the choice words have been in retaliation rather than actually going out there going, you're this, you're that, you're the other, or whatever. So, like, if you're respectful to me, I'll be respectful to you.
Aye, but exactly, because I mean, we've said on many alive, spirits, they're the exact same as us, except they don't have a
They were people once.
Anymore.
They got the same personality and everything else that they were. They're just in a different form now. That's the way I look at it. You're the same person. You got the same, everything about you is the same, except you're in a different form.
That's right. You don't have a physical body. I mean, we've done investigations. There's one location in particular we've done, and the abuse we got, one night, Sarah especially, off a spirit was, it was F you, F off. Sarah get called a few choice names and what have you. And it does happen, as you say, and they're the same.
I've been called many a thing, shall we say, over time. But hey, and it's always there's one. I won't say where, but there was one location that we've been to before, and I've been called many a choice word, and not just called it by name first, and they've used my name, and I'm like, who, and said, don't be so rude, don't speak to us like that, we just want to communicate with you, blah blah blah, as you do, be polite, all the rest of it. And we've had EVPs and my name has been mentioned first, and then they've told me what I am and what they think I am and all this, that and the other and so on, and that gets personal then when they start calling you out by name and then abusing you.
I start to get a bit of complex if you keep getting picked on. Do you know what I mean?
But
I mean, that kind of thing, that's what makes it. I'm not saying the paranormal is no real, paranormal is real, but that's what makes it real. When you get nights for that as well, where you do get no. I mean, I know a lot of people who say, "Well, that is demonic." If you get swords, a spirit swears.
No, it's just someone that's got demonic. An attitude.
Aye, So when you get a spirit who's maybe a wee bit grumpy, a wee bit, peed off, or whatever. It's no, as I say, I know a lot of people say, well, he swore at you, so that's a demon. Go away. It makes it real because, in life, we get happy people, grumpy people, and when you pass over, you get happy and grumpy people, and you're going to meet grumpy people.
Yeah.
The more investigations you do, you're going to run into them eventually. And that's what makes it kind of real. Have you ever had a night where it's just been, I'm going to pardon the pun, just totally dead, totally flat?
That's what I mean, yeah, because we've all had that. That's what I mean. That's the other thing that when we do a public event, we always say at the beginning, that's partly something else we always say. We say that we can't guarantee that you're going to get interaction. We can't guarantee kit's going to go off. We can't guarantee you're going to have a personal experience. The one thing we're trying to guarantee is that you'll have a good night with us and you're going to enjoy your evening. And if you go, whether it's been completely, like you said, pardon the pun, completely dead, and we get nothing, we're happy as long as you're happy and you've actually had a good night out. Because we can't make miracles happen. We won't fake things. We can't force things. If it happens, it happens. And it's a fantastic experience. But we do always say that, we won't and we can't force activity. It doesn't work like that.
No.
They've still got free will. If they want to interact, they'll interact. If they don't want to interact, they won't.
That's it. I've seen on many alive, at the end of the day, we can investigate all we want. We can have all the tech in the world, you know,
Mm-hmm.
sitting there. But the bottom line is plain and simple. If a spirit doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want to what you do, they're not going to talk to you.
No.
You know, you're going, you know, and we try to get a lady was it was a couple of months ago to an old abandoned church. It was our first investigation, and we took her out, and we got a couple of flickers on the K2 meter. Nothing. We got a couple of words through the necrophonic that we thought related to a young girl, but it didn't come to anything, you know. So, and I said to her after it, you know, I apologised to her. I don't know why, but I said, sorry, dog.
Yeah, but you do, because you feel like you need to. But you apologise for something that's completely out of your control. But you can hear yourself apologising, but you don't know why you're doing it, because you're not something you can control. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, been there, done that on many occasions for no apparent reason. Not that you can do it.
You know, you said sorry, dog, and while you're saying it, you're thinking, right, what
Why am I saying this?
for? And you know, give the lady her juice. Turn and says, listen, I had a great night. You know, I thought, and I mean, I do know you get these teams that if nothing's happening, they'll make something happen. You know, a door slam upstairs or whatever. You know, but I think it shows if you're doing investigations or events and nothing happens, it shows that you're genuine as well. I think, you know, it shows people, the public, that you're not there for the thrills and the glory. You're out there to investigate, and you do get nights where spirit just aren't in the mood, basically. And there's not a thing you can do about it. But as you say, you do feel kind of guilty. I mean, that night I felt guilty because we never got anything. And I thought, well, why am I guilty? Because I never done anything. You know, it was spirit didn't want to talk to us, you know. But that's the joy of the paranormal. Do you know what I mean? But moving on, Festival of the Unexplained.
Yep.
You are the. I was going to say you are the brains behind it, basically.
I wouldn't go that far. The braids.
You're the lady that put it all together.
Yeah.
I know Patty was over, Brian Lafferty was over as well for it.
Here she is. That's the wife.
Is that your wife? Even though
that's my wife. That's our Rachel. She's the owner and founder of Lost Soul Paranormal, and she's also my wife in this community. We met through the paranormal and become firm friends, if that's the way I want to put it, ever since. And yeah, she's the wife.
No doubt I'll be meeting Rachel when I think they're coming up here in August time, she was saying. Fake is just a waste of everybody's time. We learn nothing. I would rather walk away. I said, exactly, Vaughn. I paranormal wife.
See? I wasn't lying. Yes, Festival of the Unexplained. Rachel helped me with that. She ran her tushy off, shall we say, all weekend. I was running what was called supernatural fairs, basically, for 4 or 5 years, which were a combination of a little bit of everything. So we had craft, we had beauty, we had holistic, we had paranormal, we had UFOs, history, you name it. We pretty much covered everything. And then in January 2020, I decided to relaunch and rebrand and change the name. Carried on doing one-day conventions. So we have speakers in, doing talks on all different sorts of subjects. People like yourself that are like, people like yourself, then you've got people that are completely unknown and never been heard of. And then you've got people that are very well known that have taken part. And then through COVID, not just me personally, I had a lot of people help me. We put on 3 free online conventions. And we had people from, like I was saying to you before we started, from New Zealand, Australia, America, Amsterdam. You know, we had someone from somewhere, literally everywhere. Um, and they all had different experiences and they all did different things. Some were mediums, some were motivational speakers. We had like Dustin Parry, a motivational speaker and paranormal investigator. We had people from, obviously from Ghost Hunters. We also had like Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters. We had Nick Groff come on and he did an interview with us. It was like, wow, amazing. He was my idol. One of my idols.
That's one guy I cannot get a hold of.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, we had like Nick Groff on one of the ones we did. We had Nick Groff, we had Patty Negri, we had the Ghost Finders, we had the Wraith Chasers, we had we had just like endless list.
And you're forgetting somebody.
Oh, how can I forget her? We had a host of all sorts of people from all different walks of life. We had exhibitors. So because we couldn't physically go out and do an event, exhibitors would exhibit on the news feed throughout the day, showing what they sell, sharing all their Facebook pages, their websites, whatever else. So you could still buy from them online because you couldn't physically go to their store at the event. So the last one we did, it was stupidly long. I think it was like 50 odd hours long. It was ridiculous. And we actually ended the Sunday night. We actually had a DJ for 2 hours at the end of the convention, at the end of the weekend. And this was all online because we just had a big party because we raised £1,600 for mental health for the last one we did. And that was the, like I said, they were all free. Everyone gave their time for nothing, put loads of hours in. We went live from Friday night until Sunday night, non-stop. And like I said, it was amazing. And the response that I got from the public was absolutely out of this world. It was never expected it. And that's when the weekend convention, physical convention, was born, basically, because the amount of people that enjoyed it, they were like, well, why can you not do a physical event? I thought, well, I've never ever thought about doing a whole weekend convention. Like, I just do my little little days out, you know. For me, it's just a little day out. Meet a load of people that are into the same thing as me, make some new friends, buy a few bits. Rachel's there, she'll buy loads of bits. You know, and
spend your money.
Yeah, spends all the money. So yeah, so it's all it's just integrating people, because like you were about spiritual churches earlier, I used to go to spiritual church on a Sunday, and I was asked by the people in the audience and kept saying to me, why don't you do church? Why don't you do platform at church? I said, well, I've never been asked. And it turned out that they didn't want me because I did investigating and they frowned upon it. So that's why I wasn't invited to church, to work church, basically. So this is how it all came together. I had people come from church and I had people from the paranormal. So I integrated all these people in a room together, and that's why I started doing the events that I started to do. This last one we did, like you said, we had Patty Negri, Daniel Class, the Wraith Chasers, Rob Thompson from the Ghost Finders, Penny Griffiths Morgan, fantastic historian, very interesting lady. We had like Neil Story, another historian. We had the founder of the world's largest ghost hunt. We had Maria Schmidt, she came over. We had the lovely Barry Fitzgerald come over from Ireland for us. We had cryptozoologist Richard Freeman. We had the Kinsella twins, the UFO talks. So we literally had covered a little bit of we had 13 speakers altogether over 2 days. We started the event on the Friday. We did a coach trip and we took all the VIP guests, went on this coach trip with all the speakers to 2 historic locations. So it wasn't about paranormal, it was about history that day. So we went to the 1620s house and then we did Bosworth Battlefield. So it was a history day for everyone. And in the evening we had like dinner and we had Simon Entwistle from Top Hat Talks. Yeah. Lovely man. We've never
Oh,
met
he's
4
brilliant.
years we've been talking. I finally met him in person because he drove down and did my festival, and he did all the ghost stories on the Friday evening. So he told all his tales.
Mm-hmm.
And it was lovely because, like I said, we've been chatting for 4 years and never actually met in person, and it was fantastic. But then, like I said, we had all the talks Saturday, Sunday, all the exhibitors, because we had all the store holders there, meets and greets, and signing of autographs, and chatting and photos, and all that sort of stuff. Then we put like a big party on the Saturday night where everybody got together. We had the live band and we had a DJ because we were greedy, so we had both. Lots and lots and lots of drinking. Ask Patty, when you speak to Patty next, ask Patty about her dancing.
I'm talking. What day is this? I'm talking to Patty on Friday, actually.
Ask Patty if she enjoyed her dancing.
You know what? I'm going to write. I always sit with a pen on a live. It's a habit. I never write anything down.
You just do it.
It's something just to fiddle with, but
yeah, Patty was up on the dance floor pretty much all night. I have never known a woman like it. Literally, I was like, does she ever stop? Is she going to sit down?
She's a machine.
She's going to be exhausted in the morning. She can put a few away as well.
All right.
We'll leave that one there.
And drinking.
We'll leave that one there about Patty. But yeah, it unfolded very quickly, as Rachel will tell you, that let's just say our US guests like to have a tipple or 2 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exaggerating.
I've seen a few photographs of my time, the US people. I can imagine Patty on the dance floor because I spoke to Patty further on quite a bit, and I've talked to her on Friday, but she is a machine. But how you go me about Patty was she's so down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time we spoke to Patty was 2 years ago, and we're nothing big. We're just a wee small team for Kilmarnock, and I'd mailed Patty to ask if she wanted to come on. Never ever thinking she would say yes, but she said yes. She said we'll do a video call first. So I'll never forget. It was 5 o'clock in the daytime, and obviously during the day I was looking up stuff, and I thought I didn't realise how big this woman was. No size wise, as in,
I know what you meant.
I don't know. I didn't realise how big this woman is. So obviously coming 5 o'clock, you're dreading doing this phone call because you want to be all kind of proper and formal and no posh. I'm glad I don't do posh to anybody, but you want to do it right. You don't want to go and make a balloon of yourself. But see, within about...
Been there, done that. She puts you at ease so quickly, doesn't she? She's just normal.
Within the first 60, 90 seconds, that was it. And now, so we're talking later, 9 times out of 10, she can't understand. Patty and I have a language barrier,
Yeah.
But we work around it. But that's what got me about Patty. How down to earth she is.
Mm-hmm. She's Rachel dumped me for Patty. She's her new BFF. She loves Patty. They get on so well. I was like, you can't dump me for Patty. Like, what's going on here? It's supposed to be Martin. What are you doing?
No, you can't do that.
She's so lovely, Patty. Like I said, we're really, really, really. I feel extremely, extremely fortunate that all these wonderful people came together to come and do my event. It's the first one a full weekend I've ever done, and for all those people to come and be part of it, I was so grateful. All I did keep thanking them all weekend. That why did you keep saying thank you? You don't need to keep saying thank you. I'm like, but I'm just so grateful because I'm just me and you're you, and it's amazing.
That's you've hit it on the nail. You've hit the nail on the head, Car. Yeah, because I mean these people, they're major in paranormal, and we're us, and these people are taking the time to come over to you, to your event, or even come on, take an hour out of their day to get to, I know, like say again, Patty, a lot of magazines struggle to get half an hour with her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 1 week, I'd mailed her and says, look, I need you 2 nights next week, Patty. I said, no bother.
Yeah.
And she came
Yeah.
on the Monday and she came on the Wednesday. And it makes you feel humbled or whatever the word is. And you do end up saying, look, can it, a million trillion thanks. And they say, listen, stop saying thanks, it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. I picked them up from the airport from Heathrow, and we were on our way back from Heathrow. And our Rachel, it's Worcestershire thing. Our Rachel was already at the hotel, so she was already there doing stuff, and I went to the airport to Heathrow, picked them all up and everything. And I was sat there on the minibus at one point, and I was like, I'm on a minibus with Chris, Mike, and Brannon from the Wraith Chasers. I'm sat with Daniel Class, that owns the Hinsdale House and part of the Ghost Finders.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rob Thompson. Patty Negri sat right there. And then I'm like, and then we had like Father Sebastian, her friend, he came as well, the vampire. And I was at Maria, and I sat there and I was thinking, I'm on a minibus with the Wraith Chasers. And I was like, and these people, oh my God, what am I doing? This is like crazy. I've been talking about it for so long because it was been like 12, 18 months in the planning or whatever it was. And it was like, and I'm now sat here on this bus with these people that I've seen on TV and I think are bloody wonderful. And I'm just sat here generally chatting to them and saying, do you want to stop off and get fish and chips on the way back? Or
it's
should we nip to a pub and get a quick pint before we go to the hotel? It was surreal.
Patty's at the bar like that. Patty, when she done her...
no comment.
I'll be asking about it. Don't worry, I will ask her. When she was in it.
What did that L Fray get you doing, Patty?
Do tell. I've seen
Do tell.
But she was she's no longer. She was in Ireland a few weeks ago for a game of.
Yeah, last week, wasn't it? She was in Ireland last week.
Was it last week? It was
yeah.
last week. Well, that was meant to take place 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Patty got in touch with Sarah and I and says, I want you to come over to Ireland when I'm there. I said, to events. She says, no, not to the events. I want you to meet me after the events and hang out at the hotel with me.
Oh.
Just as, as guests, as friends. So we were then, obviously, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it
could happen.
We were buzzing. Patty Negri's invited us to go and to meet her up to meet her in her hotel, have a few drinks and go for dinner and that. So you're kind of buzzing, then COVID with that.
No.
So, but I mean, the
festival. I'm going to see her.
You what, dog? Sorry.
I'm planning to go visit. We've discussed it, and I'm planning to go over. I don't know if it'd be next year, depending on funds and all that. Not made of money, but planning to go over. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next year. Going to go and see Patty. Going to go and see Dan. Go and investigate the Hinsdale House because it's on my bucket list of places to do. And experience some other places and different people over there. People that I've met online doing like the online events. And they're like, yeah, just come over. I'm like, I can't just jump on a plane and come over. I've got a full-time job. I have a normal life. I can't just pop over for the weekend.
You wish it was. I mean, we've got an American team there based in Oregon. And Jennifer kind of does it. She's our main runner. She does the main. She runs it basically, yeah. And we'd love to go over, and the two teams. So Andy Murphy and his wife Kirsty, they JW. I can't remember. They're a team. They're based in Yorkshire, but Andy is in the Air Force, so he's over in America for 3 years for work there in Antelope Valley, California. They went over last August, and he's always saying to us and Charlie and Rocks. That we work with as well, come over. You need to come over. See, it's the money,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's affording to go, unfortunately, and that's just kind of something I've not been able to do. But I do plan on making the trip over. I do plan on going. it's definitely something I want to do. And like Dan's like, yeah, come over, come visit. And I'd love to go and meet in person. I want to go and meet Tessa, Tessa Dalzoppo, well, not Dalzoppo, Tessa Groff now, because she's an absolutely wonderful woman, Nick's wife. I've interviewed her on many occasions. She's absolutely fantastic medium. She's just, well, she just is. She's absolutely amazing. She does huge, huge events over in America. She'll fill a theatre. So I'll do a platform event and I'll have about 50 people at the very most. You know, she'll do an event and she fills the whole theatre. But she's to watch her work and everything. She's generally just a really, really, really nice person. And I interviewed her a few times for the festivals, and not just that, I've interviewed her just a random live I've interviewed her on that. And I've said to her, I'd love to come over and see you and meet you. And obviously her and Nick have just had their son and everything. But I do plan on booking a reading with Tessa at some point as well. But I'd love to be able to book a one-to-one reading with her and actually physically go and have it rather than have it online.
It's usually, again, it's the money.
One of the things on the bucket list.
Oh, I think my bucket list is with that, you know.
Yeah, mine just keeps growing. It's getting ridiculous now.
It does, but, you know, you keep reading things or seeing things on TV or whatever. Oh, right. Make a note of that, make a note of that. But that's the thing. Usually she's so nice. I mean, that's the thing with Paranormal. All these big names are really nice, down to earth people. I mean, we've interviewed some, you know, it sounds like boasting. It's not meant to be boasting, but, you know, like CID Entertainment, David Espinosa, Craig Arms, filmmakers, you know, we've had Damon, Patty, we've known a few times. We've had Simon Entwistle on a few times. I was actually talking to him on Monday. We've got him coming in July, Simon. So and all these people that you think wouldn't give you the time of day, they'll sit and talk to you for hours.
Yeah, they absolutely, like I said, prior to doing like the online events and prior to obviously doing the physical March event, we're in constant contact with, like, they call them talent for like paracons over there. I refuse to use the word paracon. My event is a festival of the unexplained. It is a festival, a celebration of all things unexplained. It's not a UK paracon. And speaking to all them, like Rachel took over with the speakers and things, and communicating with them prior to the event, okay, about different things, what was going on, the itinerary of the event and all the rest of it. And it was crazy because by the time the weekend arrived, it was like we were all firm friends and we'd known each other for a very long time. Because a lot of these people, I've been talking to them for the past couple of years, if not more. So it was a very surreal weekend to be sat having dinner, because we had a private dinner, just the like Rachel and I and a few others, and then all the speakers. Basically, we had a private dinner prior to the weekend starting, so they could all interact and meet and greet each other from the US, Ireland, and UK. So it was nice for all them to have a chat and to meet each other and everything prior to actually kicking off with the public.
Yeah.
And Rachel and I were only just talking about this about, I think it was last week or something. I think it might have been just last week we were talking. And Rachel said to me, she will never get over the fact she sat there at dinner. She walked in, there was 2 seats left at the table together, and she walked in with Brannon from the Wraith Chasers. So they said that they'd sit together. There was 2 chairs left. So they said, right, we'll sit there. And there was 1 other chair left on its own. So obviously I sat in that one. And she said she was sat there next to, she had Patty Negri to her left. She had Brannon from the Wraith Chasers sat to her right. And just up from Patty was Rob Thompson. Just across was Daniel Class, and so and so, and on and on and on. I can continue. And even now she says she sat between Brannon Smith and Patty Negri and had dinner. It's like it's just so she's the, even she says now it's kind of a surreal moment to be sat there next to Patty Negri, eating your dinner and having a cup of tea after, having a coffee afterwards. It was crazy.
you do feel, is this actually happening? It's like, I'm a big fan of the Haunted Hunts, the TV program. I followed them since season one. And you Charlie and Rock's on it. I hope Charlie's not watching this because his head will just go like that. You know what I mean? What was the week? I've followed them since day one practically. And we've had them on a few times. And so we get the chance to do the Ivy House down near Warrington with Charlie and Rocks. And Roisin
Cool.
in Wonderland, she featured in season. She's a young girl. She featured in season 4. When they done the Ivy House in season 4, and so we've been done. And I've got a photograph of me standing. It was my birthday in March, and we'd done the Ivy House the following week. And I'm not going to get into the story, but it was a caterpillar cake.
So I just pressed something on my laptop and I didn't know what it was. So I was like, "What's that popping up?" Go on, sorry, I do apologise.
No, it's fine. But there's been a big ongoing story about a caterpillar cake for me for way last year. But Charlie and Rocks bought me a caterpillar cake to the Ivy House, so I've got a photograph of me standing with Charlie holding a caterpillar cake, And I think this is the guy I've been watching on TV for the last 5-6 years. And now I'm standing
Crazy, isn't it?
holding an Asda caterpillar. I don't want him to hear it because his seed will just go like that, swell right up. But so, the Paracon, I know they're quite big in America. There's you get your festival there next week. Do you think there should be more events like that in the UK? Like,
I think
I'm not talking about Paracon, kind of, just get togethers.
Yeah, just like I know there's like the Para meet in September that's being put on, and it would be nice if there was more. Like, I'm not doing any one-day events now this year. I've decided that I'm going to have basically I'm having some time out. Not having many paranormal. We've got 7 locations booked for paranormal investigations this year. That is it, and we're not booking any more. We're not doing any one-day events this year at all because we've just done the big weekend. And it is a shame there isn't more going on, really. It was great for us. Like I said, it wasn't about just meeting all the speakers and having all those wonderful people and all the rest of it. It was actually meeting people that you've been chatting to like this and actually meeting them in person and actually having a real physical conversation with them. It was so nice. People you've been chatting to for years online, but you've never been in the same place at the same time. So I think it's a good thing for that because I got to meet loads of people that I've been chatting to for forever, basically. And I feel like if I hadn't put it on, it'd probably been years to come still that I probably may not have ever met them in person.
I know exactly what you mean, Carl. We were saying with GSI, it's a team for Nottingham, and they've been, we've been friends with them more or less day one, and they're on Paraflix and what have you. And they asked us last year for their Halloween special if we'd go down. I think they might have turned up with Brian Lafferty actually, GSI.
Yeah, Brian, yeah.
So they says to John, it says to me, we're doing Sherwood Forest as our Halloween special. He's want to be part of it. So we went down to Sherwood Forest last October, whenever it was, and we met them. And it was weird. I says that to John. I says it's weird. We've always spoke on panels, or video calls. I says it's weird standing here face to face.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is like a surreal moment. Like people walk in the room, they walk into the exhibitors room or something, or they'd come in the morning to register and whatever because we had registration every day because we had different ticket types basically to try and be affordable for everyone. If you couldn't do the whole weekend, you could just buy a day ticket, just come for the day. And people come for registration, and like I said, these are people that you knew their name and you've seen them online and you've seen them on interviews or you've generally just seen their team or shared their teams live, or you've watched their teams live or whatever. But then to actually meet them, it's a whole different experience. It was so, so nice to do that. It's like Mark and Tracy. I met them for the first time, and we've kind of known about each other for a long time, but never actually physically met until they came along. They came for the day. So, and they're going to book, and they've already asked me. They've already said they want to come for the whole weekend next year. They're like, you seem like you have so much fun, so much going on. Everyone's had such a great time. And like, we missed out because we've only come for the day. We've only come for a few hours. Like, we're definitely coming back next year. We want to come for the whole weekend and experience the whole thing. And I'm like, well, you are welcome. The tickets will be going on sale, so you can come next year.
We'll definitely be there. Brian Lavery says to me this year, he's coming down. I'm coming over, hopefully he can come down, but it just wasn't feasible at the time for us, financial wise and stuff. And John to GSI says he's coming down. I said, well, we'd love to come down, but it's it's one of the
and the thing is, it was supposed to have happened September last year, but because of COVID, obviously it got moved to March this year. Next year, I haven't released the dates yet, so I can't tell you. But speakers are booked, location is booked, and dates to be announced and tickets to go on sale soon. But we are doing it later in the year next year. We're doing longer payment plans. Because last year we did, like, for a VIP ticket, we had a 6 installment payment plan. For next year, for the VIP ticket, they are going to be limited, and we are having less of them next year than what we had this year. But there'll be 2 different payment plans. You can either pay in 8 installments, or you can pay in 6 installments to give people longer to pay for them and to make it a little bit more affordable. Now we're all back out working and everything again. Still want to make it accessible to people, because no one's got a moneyless pit. We wish we all did, but nobody has. We all live in the real world. We've all got normal jobs. We do our passion on the weekend, but we've all got to go to work Monday to Friday. So
that's it. And the pandemic didn't do anybody any favors. Basically, obviously, it's a stupid thing to say, but you know what I mean. Everybody did suffer through it, and maybe start to get back on, an even keel, if that's the right word for it.
Yeah. Like I said, some people, like you said, you've only recently been unwell yourself, so I've decided that the way to go is to do it later in the year next year, so it's more affordable. People they can make their payments over a longer period of time, so it's more accessible to people. And it's more affordable, basically. So they're not paying out so much in each installment. So that's the plan. But yeah, I can't wait to announce who I've got booked. It's really hard to keep things to yourself.
Sometimes you just want to go, blah,
Yeah. Tickets are going on sale in the next 2 weeks. And speakers will be announced in the next 3 weeks. We're doing it a bit different this year. We're putting the tickets on sale first, because I know there's a lot of people that want tickets and they don't even know who's coming. But because they enjoyed the last one so much, they're adamant. They're rebooking for next year.
That's a good. That's a really, really good thing that they don't have a clue who could be there. It could be anybody. But I'm coming back. I don't care who's here, but I'm definitely coming back.
So that's fantastic, and I'm appreciative to every single person that bought a ticket and attended, and that meant a lot to me, because we do it because we're passionate and everything else. But I'll be honest, I'm a little bit of a sad sap at times, and at the end of the convention we did a round table, so we had all of the speakers doing a Q&A for the last hour on the Sunday. And so I stood up at the end. I'm not much, I know I rabble on a lot, but when it comes to public speaking, platform mediumship, another level, completely different, because it's not me. I'm just the mouthpiece. But when it actually comes up to public speaking, I'm not. I get so nervous, don't like doing it. But I did stand up and give a little bit of a speech. So thank you to all the speakers, the public for attending, and like my brother-in-law was our chauffeur for the week, and Rachel running a little socks off, bless her, and Gemma helping, and everyone chipping in and helping me out that weekend. And I was fine up until the point Rachel come along, and so she stood up, and I was like, oh no, this is it now. And she come down to the front, and she went, and we all want to thank. I can't even remember. I just started blubbering. I don't even know what she said, but it's something along the lines of, "We want to thank you for putting this on in the first place, and for us all to be here and bringing us all together." That was it. I was gone. I was a mess because between the two of us, we had 9 hours sleep in 4 days, and we think we worked out we had about 2 meals in 4 days because we were running around so much and so busy. We didn't have any downtime, and we finished the convention at 5:00, and we did a ghost hunt Sunday night for 4 hours with all the American speakers. We finished at midnight, and I got back on the minibus at 4:30 to take them back to the airport.
So the sleep was just non-existent, basically.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, but I don't remember a lot of it.
It probably flew in as well.
It did, yeah. So
it probably, Sunday 5:00. Is that Sunday already? And
yeah, it was.
I think you're I've not done events, so I can't really say, but I think we'd be kind of on autopilot.
Yeah, I think we were. I think we were kind of very much so on autopilot, like what just happened? What did we just do? And then we were exhausted for about, I think we were exhausted for a good couple of weeks after. But we're doing it again. 2023 Festival of the Unexplained is coming back, and with some tweaks and some changes, and that's all I'm going to say.
For now. Give it a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and details hopefully will be out so everybody can watch.
As much as I want to say something else, I can't. But yeah, there has been tweaks, there has been changes to next year, and some surprises, and that's all. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to be quiet now. That's it. Done.
Just keep biting that.
I know, because I so want to say something. I know I shouldn't.
I'll help you out. We'll change the subject. Haunted magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's I'll get it right. You're what? I can't get it.
So, advertising executive for Haunted
That's
magazine.
it. Advertising. Sometimes during the live, my speech will just go to.
That's all right.
Just go in the bucket, basically. And you can see, a word in front of you. You're trying to read somebody's comment. And for the love of you, you can't read the comment, even though you're looking at it. You can't actually. It's totally stupid and totally weird. But you cannot physically read the comment that you're.
No, I know.
So the haunted magazine.
Yeah.
You do that as well.
I do. I do lots and lots of things. Haunted magazine is Andy Sawyer and Paul Stevenson's magazine. Paul's the editor, Andy did all the design. So all those fantastic design work you see in there is all done by him. He's freaking amazing. He actually made all of my posters, all my ads for Festival of the Unexplained this year. He's just awesome, and I love him. And it was his birthday this week. But Haunted magazine, you can get it online. You can get it. You can subscribe. It's in WH Smith's here in the UK. That was recently launched in the last few months. It's now actually accessible to go in your local, like the bigger stores, go in your local store and go and buy it off the shelf, which is absolutely amazing. In my opinion, that you can go into WH Smith's and buy Haunted magazine. It's just gone from strength to strength over the years. I take no credit for that. It's nothing to do with me. I literally sell all the advertising space, basically. So my job is to sell the adverts. So to anybody, so paranormal teams, podcasts, historic, haunted locations, events, whatever. It could be anything, because Haunted Magazine covers so much. So yes, that's my angle on things, and that's what I do. I sell the advertising space for them. It comes out quarterly, and that's my job. So if you want to advertise in the magazine, I'm your go-to girl, as they say. I'm the one you contact to do that.
I'm going to keep that in mind, Car.
And it's actually a lot more affordable than people expect it to be. A lot of times people will contact me, or I've had conversations with people and they've said, oh, I bet it's really expensive to advertise in that, isn't it? And I'm like, it's not. You'll be shocked. Shocked. People, if you're interested, contact me. People are shocked when I tell them, right, this is what it costs for 4 issues. This is what it costs for 3. This costs for 2, a quarter, a half page, a full page. If you want it designed, it's an extra cost of this, which is nothing. It's, I think, cheap for what the amazing work that Andy does. What he charges to do your ad, to do your advert is, wow. I think I don't think he charges enough, but anyway, that's none of my business. But yeah, like I say, it's so affordable. And you don't have to advertise in every issue. You can just advertise in one, see how it goes. And you think, well, you know what? Actually, that worked for me. I'm going to change my ad. I have a different ad next issue.
Tweak it a bit, kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't have to have the same ad in all 4 issues. If you want to advertise, you don't have to use the same one. So leading up to this year's convention, we kind of stuck to the same type of poster, pretty much all the way through, because we wanted people to get to a point where they saw it and knew, oh, that's Festival of the Unexplained. Who's been announced now, that type of thing. But you can put an ad in for one thing, or you can put an ad in for something else. It's like Mystery Adventure Tours. They had an ad in last issue for wherever they're going. I can't think where they're going now. Dracula's house. That's right. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, anyway, they're doing a weekend trip, so they had a full page ad for that. But then the next issue, they're doing a different trip, so they'll have a different advert again.
Change it a bit. So
yeah,
it's good to kind of tweak things a bit. We're stuck with the same logo since day one. It's the logo we always have, on here. We have played a bit with we added the Scotland to it. And the good thing, why we thought the box is we can put different things in it, for stuff that we're doing. Pendo, whatever it is we're doing, we can put it in the box. I don't know if you're frozen, Karen, or you're good at sitting still. No, you're not frozen.
No, just good at sitting still.
We've had that in live sometimes. Usually guests will just sit, and you don't want to ask them, have you froze? An idiot saying, have you froze?
I do. I got a bad habit of doing that. And I've been on with somebody, but the first person said to me, have you frozen? I'm like, no. I just stopped moving.
Or you do it. Sometimes I've done it to wind people up. Sometimes I'll just sat, just to see what they say, because they think you're frozen.
Yeah.
So they think you can't hear them. And I said, no, I'm not frozen. I'm listening to every word you says. But, tweaking the logo, I think it's a good idea, but staying with the kind of basic idea. But I'm going to have a wee word with you about that Haunted Magazine, because you've got my interest now about the advertising side. So how did you get into the Haunted Magazine? Because you seem to do a lot.
Paul and Andy approached me. Weirdly, they literally approached me and asked me if I would like to join them and take on the role. Where I'll never ever forget it. It was 3 days after my first chemo, when we were in the first lockdown. When we were in lockdown, and they contacted me and they said, would you be interested? And I was like, would I be interested? Like, really? You want me? Why? It's like, why? I don't understand. Why do you want me? I'm like, wow, this is like an amazing privilege.
what's your, I mean, obviously you're a medium, you're a therapist, you the Festival of Unexplained, which just been talking about. I think the magazine, and the team as well.
Hmm.
What's your kind of favourite? Is there one area you prefer to the rest of them that you enjoy doing more, or do you tend to kind of try and even it out?
And like I said, this year I've changed things. I've swapped. Last year, before prior to COVID, I'm doing a lot of events, and I mean a lot of events, like every weekend sort of thing. I love the fact that I've got the opportunity and I do what I do with the magazine. I love all that sort of thing because I get to speak to people and I get emails from people that I probably never would have met or ever spoke to before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I enjoy that type of thing and I enjoy advertising and obviously, as you can tell, I enjoy talking a lot.
I love talking. The amount of times I've
Um,
been given into trouble for talking too much is unbelievable.
but I enjoy the investigating. But I think with the investigating side of things, I've got to that point now, which is why we're only doing a handful of public events this year, because I've got to that point that I enjoy more going on a team night or a team share than doing a public event. I love meeting and greeting the public. I love doing public events. But I think because I did so many of them prior to the lockdowns and everything else, it's just going to be nice this year to take a little bit of a step back and a little bit of a break.
I was going to ask that. Do you ever get a kind of paranormal overload with
Yeah,
everything you do that you need to take that? I mean, last year we took 3 weeks out. We never do any. We
yeah.
never done any
Sometimes,
investigations.
sometimes you need to do that. But I'm concentrating. I'm not doing the investigation so much this year because my plan is to do more of my platform mediumship and things like that because that's gone on the back burner for such a long time now. And I'm at a stage where I feel it's time to bring it back and start offering and doing what I can do. So I'm thinking about going and doing psychic and holistic fairs and actually having a table and actually being an exhibitor for once for a
Mm-hmm.
change this year and actually offering my readings and doing what I can do rather than planning and organizing all these events. Because my passion is in my passion isn't the paranormal. My passion's more in the mediumship side of things this year. I've been swayed more to that kind of way
Mm-hmm.
and concentrating more on the magazine and doing less investigations. So this year I do intend to do a lot more the mediumship side of things for myself and concentrate on the magazine really. And then obviously planning next year's festival, which is going to be a lot of work again. But it'll be worth it because we're all going to have a freaking amazing time because we did this year.
I hope so because we're going to come down from Scotland for it.
Well, I'm
And
hoping
that's
we could. I don't know if we can. People said to me, I'm like, how I'm going to. People kept saying to me, how you're going to top this year, we don't know. I'm like, no pressure at all. Thanks for that.
it kind of puts you on the spot right away, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we are definitely going to be coming down all the way for Surrey. I know we're only a couple of hours down the road, up the road. Sorry, we're definitely going to be coming down for that. But I mean, obviously, say you've got everything that you do. You've got your own life as well. You know,
Yeah.
to live. Job, family, etc. How do you fit it all in?
Good question. I have no idea. Honest truth. Before COVID, I worked as a support worker and I worked 60 hours a week. I worked for Jane Harris back then. I worked for her for 4 years. So I worked for HD Paranormal. So I worked Jane's events. I worked KEAP Paranormal and did my own events. I did the mediumship side of things. And I worked a 60-hour week. And how? I will never know. I just don't know how I fit everything in. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. It just kind of, I don't know how I did it. I don't even know now. And how I fit everything in now, I still don't know.
I was just curious. I mean, I know we're just a small team. We're nothing major or anything. But my phone is always going. You know,
Yeah,
but we don't do
same.
events or festivals or anything like that. And sometimes it does take up a lot of your time. I'll wake up in the
Yeah.
morning to maybe half a dozen mails for different people and stuff, and then the phone's always ping, ping, ping. So that's why I was wondering with all the stuff you do compared to what I
Let's
do.
say I don't sleep a lot, shall we say?
See, I'm the same. I cannot remember. I actually said this to Laura, I think, earlier on today. I cannot remember the last time I slept a full night. It's
You know what? I was talking to someone last night, and I slept for a full night, a full 12 hours on Saturday night for the first time, and I couldn't tell you how many years. I think it's because I wasn't well last week. So if this was this time last week, I wouldn't have been able to do this because I was really unwell Wednesday through to Saturday. I was really unwell at all. Didn't go to work or anything. I went to work on the Friday, but struggled all day.
Mhm.
And I think it literally just knocked the wind out of me. And I slept for 12 hours Saturday. Come Sunday night, 4 hours sleep because I had so much sleep the night before. And it's like, what? It's like I'll be chatting to people like from the US and stuff, obviously because the time difference. So they start messaging me around about 8. It's 10:30. 20 to 11. So anytime now, I'll start getting inbox messages and things like that. And I'll start talking to my friends that are over there and communicate with them when I should be thinking about going to bed because I've got to be up at 6:30 for work. But you can still find me at 2:00 still. I still get up and I still go and do the day job.
I've been there many a time myself, though. As you said, obviously we get the American team, but I talk to a lot of people in America, and they tend to mail you when you're sort of winding down. They're kind of
Yeah.
winding up.
Yeah, basically because of the time difference and everything.
Aye,
And also at the moment, I am sorry to interrupt you. I do apologise.
No, it's fine. Don't carry on.
I've just been asked this week. Last year, I was the UK contact for the world's largest ghost hunt. And about 4 days ago, I had a message, and I've actually been contacted and asked to come back this year to be again the UK coach for the world's largest ghost hunt that's happening September this year. So that's more work added. But I enjoyed it so much last year, and they said, they were really pleased with the job that I did. They said I did an amazing job. I did everything else, and they'd love to have me back as the UK coach again this year.
That's something else you've got to connect to as well.
Yeah, so that's something else that I'm doing. But I did that last year amongst doing all the other things we've already spoken about, and I did that on top as an extra thing last year.
It goes to show that you're well thought of, and you do stick in people's minds, and that is to me, I think you've done amazing. The amount of stuff that you actually put together, that the amount of work they actually do. No, all I was going to say, we just talked about America, was the other problem. I mean, I love our American friends, but they're on different time zones.
Yeah, I know. It's a blooming nightmare.
We done a live last year. We organised a live with Patty Negri, Jim Martin, Rick McCullum, Sophie Temperelli, Jack Herman on it as well. And they stay in different time zones. So it took me about a month and a half to put it together to get everybody
been there, done that.
at the same time. And Patty would say, well, it's 2 a.m. here, so it's 4 a.m. there. Jim would say, well, it's 10 a.m. here. I said, no, that's not going to work, so we need to do it this time, I think. It turned out, it worked.
It works. It does work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort, but it works. Logistics, it works in the end. It's like when I did the online conventions last year. You imagine trying to organise 46 hours worth of people and different time zones and making sure everybody got the right time for when they were supposed to be on live in the UK, and it was EST, or it was this, or it was that, or it was the other. And I'm like, lists and lists and lists of all the time zones. Right, all the right spreadsheet, time zones. Okay, they're in this time zone, they're in this time zone. This is our time zone. It'll be that time there, that time there, that time here. So
You
this is
lose
what time
track.
they need to be on. It was but it was good. It was worth it. I loved it. Really enjoyed it. So
It is worth it. When we done that panel and I go together and we went live, I was sitting with the panel and I thought, you know what? It worked out. That's the main thing. We got there in the end and everybody was on time. Patty's always kind of last minute, maybe 2 minutes before we go live, Patty will turn up. But mind you, saying that, it's funny. I was in, this is last year, sometime I was in Tesco, my phone went and it was Patty. And she says, I'm sitting in the studio waiting. And this was the middle of the afternoon. And I'm thinking, she said, Patty, she's mailed me to say she's sitting in the studio. She says, what? I says, yours. So I had to check. I checked StreamYard. I said, we don't have any. We had an old stream made up. But what had happened was I checked her calendar. She was a month early.
oh yeah, we've had that with Patty before. So we were supposed to interview her. I think this was back last year. I was having her on. I think it was in June or something, and she dropped me a message. He's like, I think there's something wrong. And I said, what do you mean? It's like, I said, you're not on, Patty. I am. Oh, no, you got the wrong month. Oh, said you're like a month early. So yeah, that's a common thing.
All right, that's fine then.
But she said to me, well, I turned up. I'm like, yeah, you turned up. I appreciate it, but we're not doing it now.
It's, if you've got another 4 week bless her, but I say I was in the middle of Tesco's in the middle of the afternoon and thought, no, we wouldn't have her live at this time of the day anyway, but she said, I'm sitting here waiting. I said, Patty, you're 4 weeks too early. Oh, my bad, my bad, you know what I mean? Bless her, she's an amazing lady.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely going to ask her about the drinking and the dancing. That's a must. You've got my curiosity. But I've just noticed the time, so I've not even asked you any paranormal questions about your investigation.
Oh, well, maybe I just have to come back on another occasion.
I was just going to say that. I think I'm going to have to drag you back on, though.
Well, you're more than welcome.
I'll arrange a wee date. I'll just hang on to you after we come off.
Yeah.
Don't disappear on me. So just before we go, you want to plug your channel and you're probably here for about an hour, but what you do.
Okay, so I do one-to-one readings. You can find me on L Fray Medium and Holistic Facebook page. If you're interested in advertising with Haunted Magazine, you can find me at Karen at hauntedmagazine.co.uk. If you want to come on an investigation with us, find KEAP Paranormal, spelled KEAP, on Facebook or on our website. And if you're intrigued to find out who and where and what and when Festival of the Unexplained 2023 is, there's lots of when, what, where there, wasn't there? Festival of the Unexplained 2023 is. Keep an eye on the website and keep an eye on our Facebook page. We are announcing, when we're doing the announcements this year, we're doing it differently. We're actually doing live announcements for everything, which we didn't do before. So this year we're doing live announcements. So we will be putting that on the Festival of the Unexplained Facebook page and letting you know when the announcement is and what the announcement is going to be.
So keep an eye out for that one.
So have a look.
Keep a weather eye on the horizon, as they say in the Caribbean or something like that. Keep an eye out. So we'll wind it up there. So a massive thank you to Karen. You will be seeing her again because the next time we're actually going to ask her about the paranormal investigations and the usual toys and whistles. I thought we'd try and make that because every time you interview somebody, Karen, you always ask them the same questions. So I thought we'll try and do it different. We'll talk about, know your paranormal. Well, it was paranormal actually, but know the usual stuff. I wanted people to get to know the Karen and everything she does, basically. But I'll hold on to you just for a wee second. So that's us for tonight, folks. Thanks very much for joining in. We're back tomorrow night with PTTP. which we're looking forward to. Vaughan Hunter's saying, hopefully the next festival will be nearer to home. I'm not sure where Vaughan's from.
I know, but I can't think, which is terrible of me.
We've got Vaughan back. We had Vaughan on a few weeks ago. We got Vaughan coming on soon again, I believe. So you need to do it to closer to Vaughan's house the next time.
We just do it in our garden. It's fine. She can put us all up for the weekend.
Maybe there's a park or something nearby, McDonald's. You're very welcome, Vaughan. Thank you for coming in, though. So
Yeah,
we'll wind up
thank
there. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll wind up here just now. No, I meant whereabouts in the country you're from, Vaughan, not your
Yeah, we know what team you're from.
Nothing like a quick plug, Karen. You know, I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, go on. Go for it. Why not?
Vaughan is from Matrix Paranormal, as you can see. But I meant actually what part of the country you're in. But bless you for putting your Matrix in. See, nothing. I will wait in her. Right, she's going to type. She's got to type in where she's from.
South Yorkshire.
So she's a South Yorkshire lass.
Oh, come on, Von. We had Rachel, Gemma, and Nikki come down from Wakefield for the weekend. Rachel run her butt off all weekend. She come down from Wakefield. I'm sure you can come wherever it may be.
If we can go for Scotland, Vaughan, you can come for South.
That was close, Scott. Come on, you got to wrap this up now. I nearly blurted then.
Oh, did you? So we're going to keep going just now, folks. No, we'll wind up there because, I'm not going to, Karen tell everybody in their own time, 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is. Everybody will find out. So just, I have to have a carer for her.
Oh, bless her.
Easy. But keep talking. No, Vaughan. No,
Vaughan. I've got to go I've got to be up for my day job in the morning. No more.
So I'm very sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just making excuses because I don't want to slip anything out.
No, I was going to say, remember we were talking about the serious face earlier on. Before it's time to go. It doesn't happen, does it? Right, so we're going to cut it there, folks. And thanks very much for joining. And we shall hopefully see you tomorrow night with you. We'll finish in a wee minute once Karen's finished laughing. Right, serious face.
I can't do it.
Carried it. Sorry, folks. So we're definitely going this time.
Yeah, we're definitely going now. Thank you ever so much for having me on. It's much appreciated.
No, but it's our pleasure. Thanks for taking the time, though. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night, hopefully. If we don't see you tomorrow night, we'll see you the next time. Take care, folks. Bye.
Good night.